Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the 509 snow helmets available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see on the table in front of me is the line of 509 snow helmets, and this is going to be a company that really is focused only on snow and snowmobile riders. So really what you're getting here is a bevy of knowledge throughout the years compiled into their newest line of lids. So really what you have to think about as we're working our way through this is, what are you looking for out of a snowmobile helmet? Now, there's going to be a couple different models on the table, and you'll notice that the models on my right-hand side are going to be for those of you out there in more of an active lifestyle. You're still getting the breath guard. It's still going to block off some of the vents. You're still going to have block-off plates in the vents up top that can be removed, but this is going to allow for more airflow around the goggle surround. You're going to definitely have to use a pair of snowmobile goggles with these, and it's going to give you more airflow for those of you out there in more of an active sledding situation. The other cool thing about these is there's a duality to the functionality here, in the fact that for those of you that still ride dirt bikes in the summer months, you can pull the blocking plates off for the vents, you can pull the breath guard out, and you can use this as your motocross helmet in the warmer months of the year. Every helmet that you're going to see on the table is DOT and ECE rated, so you can use this on either a motorcycle or a dirt bike. Now, as we work our way up to the R3, the Delta R3 is the one that looks a little bit different. You can configure this as a closed-faced helmet. You're going to notice that it does include the heated face shield. You can take the peak off if you don't want it to have that dirt-style look and just run it as a regular helmet. Or if you want, you can actually remove the face shield for this, and you can use a pair of snowmobile goggles with it if you want more airflow. But the biggest difference here is that face shield is going to be included in the box, and that is a heated face shield, so it's going to be completely anti-fogging with this. You'll also notice that the vents on this are going to be actuated from the outside via little levers, so you're not going to have to worry about taking the inside liner apart to open the vents up the way you will with the Tactical or the Altitude. So with all that being considered, let's now work through the table, and we'll give you the highlights of each of the helmets and kind of talk about the differences between the lines. So the first one that we're going to come to on my right-hand side, this is the Tactical. This is around the $150 price point, and this is your bang for the buck helmet. What you're looking at is a polycarb shell, 4 different shell sizes, and when we threw this on the scale in a large, came in at 3 pounds 5 ounces. Now what you'll notice here, they're all going to have this breath guard. It is easily removable. There's 2 snaps behind the chin pads on this. They snap out, and that breath guard can be easily pulled out. The other thing you'll notice is a little piece of metal in around the nose bridge, and you can use that to articulate exactly how you want this to fit on your particular nose. Again, with that removed, you have a maximum amount of airflow, and like I mentioned, with both the Tactical as well as the Altitude, these vents up top come blocked off. There's little foam blocking plates on the inside, and if you go ahead and pull that Pro Series liner out, that will allow for airflow to come through once you remove those little foam pads. If you want to block them back off, you just simply put those foam pads back in. Now, the biggest change you'll note as we jump from the Tactical up to the Altitude is going to be a change in construction. You're now going to get up into a thermoplastic shell. You're going to shave a little bit of weight off. Now, you are going to have a bump in price here. You go from around the $150 price point up to around the $240 price point. We threw this on a scale in large, came in at 3 pounds 1 ounce. So you're saving about 4 ounces. Still 4 different shell sizes, but the main change you're going to see here is you're now going to get up into this fidlock closure. So the biggest change we've seen is you're going to have this closure that's not going to utilize a double D-ring. Now, fidlock is something we've seen in backpacks. It's basically a magnetic lock, and all you have to do is get it close, and then that's locked in place. And the only way to get it off is to pull this little red tab, and then it simply pops right off. And it really seems counterintuitive at first. It doesn't seem like it's going to be super secure. And the more you play with it, the more you realize all you have to do is get it close and it's locked into place. And I mean, you can't break that lock unless you really pull it backwards and down the way you have to. So it's really an innovative design, and we're probably going to expect to see this on more helmets coming forward because of how easy it is to use. Again, you are now locked and ready to go. So that's the biggest step up other than the thermoplastic construction when you get up into the Altitude. Now, if you're looking at the Altitude and you're thinking, man, that's cool, but I still want to save a little bit more weight, there is going to be a carbon fiber version. Now, this is going to come in around the $400 price point. In an extra large, this came in at 3 pounds 1 ounce for the extra large. I'm sorry, 3 pounds 3 ounces for the extra large. And this is going to be a full carbon composite or full carbon fiber shell, and that's the biggest change you're going to see over the base Altitude. Now, there's only going to be 3 shell sizes available within the carbon line, where you had 4 shell sizes within the regular standard altitude. But both of these are going to have the same feature set. You're looking at a helmet that's going to have 7 intake vents, and you are going to have a revised exhaust pattern on the back, so you get a little bit more venting on the back of this helmet as opposed to what you get with the tactical. So you are getting a clear step up when you get into the altitude line of helmets from a ventilation and functionality standpoint, as well as the weight savings. Now the final helmet we're going to come to on the table is going to be the Delta R3, and the main change you're going to see here is that you can use this as a standalone helmet. With the tactical, with the altitude, you're going to have to use some kind of eye protection with that to protect the old peepers. So one of the things you're not going to have to worry about is buying separate eye protection when you're looking at the Delta R3, because that comes with the heated face shield in the box. Now, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to, you can remove the face shield, you can use this with goggles, you can remove the peak if you wanted to have more of that traditional helmet look, and with the vents on this, you're not going to have to worry about actually any foam blocking plates on the inside. The vents are going to be articulated just with the push of a finger. Now the one thing you'll note here is that the vents don't give you a real true closure. I wish they gave a little more of a snap into place. Instead they just kind of slide back and forth. That was my main nitpick with the vent scheme on this. Now it is definitely easier to use in the blocks, but it's just not that clear snap closure you'd expect from some of the more premium helmets out there. This is coming around the $280 price point. 2 different shell sizes. This is a polycarb construction, and it is going to be heavier than any other helmets we're going to see on the table at 3 pounds 15 ounces in a large. But just keep in mind that weight doesn't include the use of any goggles. So when we're looking at all of these helmets, yes, they are going to be lighter, but you will have to add goggles to them. Now, speaking about adding goggles, we have a goggle video out there on 509. So if you want to see the breakdown about all the different goggle types you can use in conjunction with the tactical, the altitude, or the Delta R3, make sure to check that video out as well, where we break down all the different goggles. Now that's going to wrap up the main differences between the 509 snow helmets. If you want to hear more about what other riders have to say about the 509 lids they're using on their sleds, now would be the time to click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting these helmets through their paces. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as to which helmet is right for you and your type of sledding, you can always give them a shout, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the 509 snow helmets. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.